That looks good. You just get as close as you can. I'm pretty sure we can, you know, you go in. You got a hammer? Yeah. And I wonder if you can, I'm going to try and put my string right on the ground. There you go, like that.
We're not going to plant with it today because we're using pellets, and our seed plate is not designed for pellets. So this just makes a nice furrow, and it firms down this loose compost we just put in there, so it'll make a nice firm area for seeds to sit on and not fall through. So if you were seeding, you'd leave this chain down so the chain covers the seeds back up. And I'm just going to make a furrow, so I'm going to put the chain up. When we look at days of germination, I like to put the things that'll be quicker on the outsides. So our Nelson or white satin 68 days, we'll put that on the outsides. What do you got that? 56, so those will be on the outsides too. We'll probably do those on the very outside. The purple 68 takes like 75 days and their tops just get enormous. So we'll put those in the middle so they don't shade out. If we had those on the outside, these little Nelsons, which never get much of a top, or a big top, would get shaded out by the other ones. So think of how much space a carrot really needs, you know, and it's not going to be perfect. Just like that. The advantage of pelleted seed is that it creates a uniform coating over the small seeds, which makes planting easier and it aids in germination. When watering a raised bed, it's important to water corners and edges more and keep your water moving so you don't wash the seeds away. One advantage to transplanting or plugging as opposed to direct seeding is that the desired crop is weeks older than any surrounding weeds.
We're using the strings to give us our good straight line. He'll lay it down right in between the middle of the two front. We did the beets at 6 rows and 4 inches, so 6 by 4. This is a 5 by 8 spacing, so 5 rows by 8 inches in row. Well, this is Indigo Radicchio that we're planting here, and this was started on August 7th. We put these in the we put the seeds in the plug trays. That's a 288 cell plug tray that we're using, and we're only going to do half of this bed here. The other half is going to be lettuce, and in that way, when we determine our spacing, 5 by 8, then I can figure out exactly how many plants I need in order to plant what we've allocated for Radicchio. Still, the reason we do it is so that we don't have to direct seed, so we know that we're putting a healthy plant. When we go through here, we're not picking out unhealthy or plants with no vigor. We're selecting for vigor, and we put the plants in that are healthy. And that way we know we get a good stand. We're a volume fill kind of thing. And it's the same way with all of the things that we're going to plant in here. Carrots, mesclun, and radish are the only 3 things that we're going to direct seed. The beets, the lettuce, the radicchio, the bok choy, the rapini, the spinach, all that will be plugged. The big difficulty with this is just the sides. You know, when you're in here in an environment like this, there's the cultural conditions. You have the temperature, the moisture, and the humidity. Or the moisture in the air. Those are the 3 things that you have to be really mindful of. So we actually want things to kind of dry down a little bit. You don't want things to be, especially when it's closed up. When this thing gets closed up due to temperature reasons, then we got to be really careful with our water. You don't want to you can't have it too humid in here, and you'll get outbreaks of disease. So that's all that we're trying to do in here. That's really the only thing that's different, is just monitoring the cultural conditions so that you don't have an outbreak.